In May of 2008, in a dressing room in Malaga, a 17-year-old boy in a Spain shirt sat down and found that he could not get back up. The room was moving. He had been called up to the senior national team for the first time in his life, and his body had stopped working. He told Andres Iniesta he was dizzy. The staff told the press it was gastroenteritis. It was not gastroenteritis, and everybody in that room knew it. 9 years later, he finally explained what it actually was, and it changed the way football talks about the children it builds. This is the story of Bojan Krkic. He was born in 1990 in Linyola, a village in Catalonia with about 2,500 people in it. His father, also called Bojan, was a footballer from Serbia who had come to Spain to play and never left. So the boy grew up with two things most children do not have: a father who knew exactly what professional football does to a person, and a surname that nobody around him could spell. Barcelona took him into La Masia when he was 9. La Masia is not a school with a football team attached to it. It is a farmhouse beside the Camp Nou, where the club raises children inside one very specific idea of how the game should be played. And it has produced more great footballers than any academy in the history of the sport. And in 10 years inside it, Bojan scored more than 900 goals. That is not folklore, and it is not a rounding error. 900. Through every age group, against every academy in Spain, at a rate only one other player in that building had ever managed. That player was Lionel Messi, who was 3 years older, and who by then was already in the first team. Which is where the problem starts. Because when a club has just produced the best player in the world, and a boy comes through behind him breaking that player's records one by one, nobody in football is capable of describing the second boy on his own terms. He stops being a footballer and becomes a comparison. On the 16th of September 2007, he came on for Barcelona in a league game. 17 years and 19 days old. The youngest player ever to make a league debut for the club, a record that had belonged to Messi. A month later he scored and took that record too. The youngest goalscorer in the history of Barcelona. He was still a teenager who had to be driven to training, and he was starting matches for a team with Ronaldinho, Eto'o, Xavi and Iniesta in it. That first season he played 48 games, 12 goals. For a 17-year-old at the biggest club in Spain, in the same forward line as a Ballon d'Or winner, those are extraordinary numbers. And at the time they were treated as the beginning of something rather than a peak. The Spanish press had already given him the title, the new Messi. He was 17. He had done nothing yet except be good at the same club, in the same position, at a younger age. And in Spain in 2008, that was enough to hand a child the heaviest label the sport has. So when Luis Aragones called him into the senior Spain squad for a friendly against France, it was supposed to be the next obvious step. 17 years old, in a squad that was about to go and win a European championship. Instead, he walked into the dressing room and the dizziness that had been following him for months arrived all at once. He has since described it plainly. He was having anxiety attacks. Not nerves, not a bad night's sleep. Panic attacks in a 17-year-old carrying a national expectation that he had never asked for and could not put down. He could not stand up, and the story that went out was that he had a stomach bug. Aragones wanted him anyway. He called Bojan the day before the Euro 2008 squad was announced to tell him he was in. And Bojan asked him, 24 hours before the biggest list of his life was made public, to leave him out. Think about what that takes. A 17-year-old turning down a place at a European championship with a squad that would go on to win it, because he understood something about himself that no adult around him had been willing to say out loud. Spain won that tournament. He watched it. He stayed at Barcelona 4 seasons. 41 goals in 162 games. At almost any other club in Europe, that is a career people would be pleased with. At that Barcelona, arriving at the exact moment the team became the best side most people had ever seen, it was not enough to keep a shirt. So in 2011, he left for Roma, then Milan on loan, then Ajax, then Stoke City in England, where he was genuinely excellent for a season before a knee ligament went. Then Mainz in Germany, then Alaves back in Spain. Read that list again, because the shape of it is the story. Roma, Milan, Ajax, Stoke, Mainz, Alaves. 6 clubs in 6 seasons, 4 countries, a player being passed between leagues looking for the place where the weight came off. And the football was never the problem. He was a genuinely intelligent forward. Small, quick, superb in tight spaces. Exactly the player La Masia was designed to produce. What he could not do was be a comparison for a decade. In 2019, he went to Montreal, in Major League Soccer, and after that to Vissel Kobe in Japan. 7 countries in 15 years. 451 professional appearances. 93 goals. Somewhere in the middle of all that, he did the thing that actually matters. He talked about it. He explained, publicly and in detail, that the reason the 17-year-old had missed Euro 2008 was anxiety, and that the gastroenteritis story had been a convenient lie the sport was comfortable telling. That was not a small thing to say. He said it about a squad that had won the tournament, about a club that had raised him from the age of 9, and about an industry that at the time had almost no vocabulary for what he was describing. In March of 2023, at 32, he retired. And the football world filed him where it files everyone who was called the next somebody. Under failure. Under wasted talent. Under what could have been. Which is a strange verdict on a man who played 15 years across 7 countries at the top level of the sport, and who is now back at Barcelona working for the club that made him. Most children who enter La Masia at 9 leave with nothing at all. The honest version is not that Bojan failed. It is that at 17 he was handed a comparison instead of a career, and the only person in the building who noticed what it was doing to him was the 17-year-old. Every academy in the world is still full of boys being described as the next someone. The label is handed out casually, by adults, to children, and it is almost never withdrawn. Bojan is the one who came back years later and told everyone exactly what carrying it cost. He did not get the career the 900 goals promised. He got something the sport values less and probably needs more. He was the boy who sat down in Malaga and could not get up, and then grew into the man who explained why. If this story stayed with you, subscribe to Beyond the Boots for more. The Boots tell the story. We just follow the footsteps.